Hi everyone, it's John from WoTWed and welcome back to another video, and today's the first Wheel of Time Wednesday since the Season 2 trailer dropped. Now, the Twiiter chaos has promised that WoTWednesdays were back, but we didn't really know in what capacity. What with the strike and all the things going on in the entertainment industry, we were unsure what we would be getting, if anything at all. We weren't disappointed. We got some costume sketches and some stills from Season 2 by way of Nerdist, which we're going to go through today in the channel because they're really cool. Now, if you're new to the channel, you don't know what we do here, we cover Wheel of Time show news, so pretty much anything and everything related to the Wheel of Time, that's what we talk about here. So if you like that sort of thing, make sure you subscribe to the channel and, of course, like the video. I am trying to hit 20,000 subscribers prior to the release of Season 2, which happens September 1st. A mere 5 weeks away. We're a couple of hundred subscribers short right now, so if you do watch the videos and don't already subscribe, please do us a favor here at WoTWed and click that button. Now, before we get into the video, I do have to give a bit of a spoiler warning since we are talking elements of Season 2 of the Wheel of Time. So, spoiler warning, if you have not watched the first 8 episodes of the Wheel of Time, that's Season 1 on Prime Video, be forewarned, I may ruin plot points and character arcs from that full season. Also, if you have not read any of the Wheel of Time books, be forewarned, I may ruin small plot points and character arcs from the first 4 books. That's The Eye of the World, The Great Hunt, The Dragon Reborn, and The Shadow Rising. Nothing that should ruin your enjoyment of reading the series if you haven't just yet, but I will talk about some things that happen in the series. Alright, that being said, let's get on to the video. Alright, so like I said earlier, this comes to us by way of Nerdist. If you don't know what Nerdist is, they are a pop culture website, and I've left a link to their article down below in the description box. Now, they don't just cover Wheel of Time, they cover a variety of topics and fandoms. However, the Wheel of Time has seemed to use them for official releases for the last little bit, so I would definitely bookmark their page and check back often, because I would bet good money that we're probably going to see at least a couple more official releases prior to the release of Season 2 through Nerdist. Either way, very cool, very well written article, and it's neat that we're getting to see some of these behind the scenes sketches of the costumes in addition to the actual costumes on screen. Now, before we get into showing you all the costumes, I do want to say one thing. I was very vocal about the Season 1 costumes and how much I liked them. Everything from the extras to the hero costumes to the foreground, they did a fantastic job. I thought they were brilliant. I thought they did a really, really good job, and I didn't think it could get any better. Boy, was I wrong. Now, Season 2 seems to have really upped their game. The costumes are phenomenal. I don't know what else to say. I have not seen a single costume for Season 2 that I didn't like so far, and the intricacies, right down to stuff that you probably wouldn't notice unless you pause the show and really zoomed in, are mind-blowing. The costumes themselves are really, really detailed, and they did a real good job. And I want to applaud the costume design team and pretty much everyone else behind the scenes that helped the cast shine and give us the show that we have. So hats off to you folks. Thank you so much for doing this. Without you, there really wouldn't be a show. Now, the first sketch is of Siuan, the Emerald. Now, this particular costume is like a long, flowing dress with sort of a hat. Now, I've heard some people on Reddit and on Twitter or X or whatever it's called now say that they weren't too fussy about the hat. And I tend to agree. I don't really like the hat, but that's just because I don't really like hats. That's just me. But the costume in real life, the detail on this is absolutely amazing, and you can't deny that the Emerald's going to pop and definitely command the scene. I mean, Sophie, the actress, is absolutely amazing, and she's going to command any scene she's in anyway, but the costume, it's certainly not going to hurt. It's definitely going to bring her front and center. Now, if you take a look at the background at the extras, even them, they are dressed to the nines, right down to the belt buckles and the intricate designs in the vest. They've done a really great job here. That isn't to say there isn't some things that they've released today that I didn't like, and there is one. There's one particular costume sketch that I saw, and I super didn't like it at all. Not because it wasn't well done, not because the costume itself isn't beautiful, but because I didn't think it fit the character even a little bit. And that was this one here of Moiraine. Now, like I said, the costume is gorgeous, the sketch is gorgeous, and it would look amazing in a different setting and not on this particular character. I didn't think this fit Moiraine in any way, shape, or form at all, and you can really tell that when they actually transposed this costume to screen, they did some major changes to it, and what we saw in the teaser and in the promotional material was a way different costume, same cut, same general purpose, but it looks much, much better on screen than this would have. This is how it looked on screen, and I think this suits Moiraine much better. And it's not because the other one was too flashy or whatnot. It just didn't, in my opinion, suit her character. We have the Kisara here, a more simple type of dress. absolutely gorgeous, well cut, well thought out, well made, and I think this one suits her character way better than the sketch did. And that just goes to show you, they'll do mock-ups and sketches, but things can change along the way. Couldn't tell you the reasons why, but I think in this case, at least, the changes were much for the better. So the next one we have here is High Lady Suroth. Now, we know this is High Lady Suroth because the promotional material stated that a couple of different times, even though they've never really officially released her character's name or the actress playing her. But the sketch for her is absolutely gorgeous. Now, when they do these mock-ups, like I said earlier, sometimes they change, although with this one, there are very few changes between the sketch and the actual costume. And the Seanchan on screen look absolutely amazing. I don't know what else to say about them other than the fact that they definitely pop and they're always going to be center stage. And I don't think you are not going to be able to keep your eyes off of them no matter what's happening on screen. Now, if we take a little look a little bit closer at the sketches, you'll see the absolute sheer volume of work that went into designing this costume. So everything in this sketch has a purpose. For example, and this is pure genius as far as I'm concerned, the face shield. Not really described in the books, but a clever add-in as far as I'm concerned, because let's face it, as a member of the Blood, High Lady Suroth is not supposed to meet the eyes of anyone of lower standing than her. And that's kind of hard when pretty much everyone on this side of the Aerith Ocean is lower standing than High Lady Suroth, except maybe a couple of people, a handful of people, so she can't really interact with anybody at all. This particular face shield gives her leeway to look at and see what's going on around her without lowering her eyes, so to speak. If you've read the book series, you know what I mean, or causing her dishonor. Now, I don't know what else to say about the Seanchan costumes than they pop. They absolutely will draw the eye whenever any Seanchan is on screen, and I am sure that's on purpose. Not a thing about the Seanchan are subtle. Everything is over the top and absolutely in your face, and I, for one, am loving every minute of it. From the shoulder guards, to the robe, to the undershirt, to the hair, all of it, I think, absolutely perfect, and I can't wait to see them in action on screen throughout Season 2 and beyond. Finally, we have the Damane. We have this sketch, a much more intricate, detailed sketch, and then we'll give you a shot of what it actually looks like on screen. But it's one of the things that I didn't really think of. Even at the end of Season 1, when we saw the Seanchan in the final moments of Episode 8, I didn't think too much about how the Damane would look on screen for Season 2 and beyond, because you wouldn't think that their costumes are going to be that intricate. Now, I was proven completely wrong, because in the book series, the Adam, the thing that connects the Damane to the Suldam so they can be controlled, is a silvery leash with a simple silver collar and a simple silver bracelet. There's a whole bunch of problems with that as far as putting it on screen. Notwithstanding the fact that you're going to have a whole bunch of people on leashes trying to lead them around, I can't imagine herding those people around on the set would be easy. It'd be like herding cats, and I imagine a ton of shots would get ruined with a small, simple silver leash connecting people. So the idea to take that leash away and make the bracelet more of a bracer, and the simple silver collar something that is much more intricate, and in the promotional material says cannot be removed unless a Damane dies, which I think is completely on purpose. That was written in there on purpose. A really, really smart choice. All right, so I think the change from the silvery collar, leash, and bracelet to something like this is a very smart one for a bunch of different reasons, but mainly because we're going to be having some power battles in the second season. You're going to see a bunch of weaves on screen, a bunch of explosions, a bunch of other things happening, and a ton of people in certain scenes. And there has to be a way to differentiate who those people were. For the Aes Sedai, we have the robes or the dresses that are the color of their Asha, their big rings with the big colored stone. For the Damane, well, it's going to be this giant conglomerate they have on their shoulders that is likely meant to be unwieldy, uncomfortable, and heavy, which goes right in line with how the Damani are treated by the Seanchan, right down to the iron slave bit that they're wearing in their mouths, which is a nod to Southern slave culture in the US. It was meant as a punishment, so they couldn't speak or eat, and I think that's what they're using on the Damani here. In the trailers, we're not 100% on that yet, because there hasn't been much talk officially from the production team or what's going on and what it exactly means. That's what it seems to be, and I think that the Wheel of Time is not going to shy away from some of the difficult conversations about the Seanchan and how they treat their people. I think they're actually going to showcase it on screen. Now, let's take a look a little bit closer at the bracer or the bracelet of the Adam. All right, so Instead of the silvery bracelet, we have this bracer here. It covers most of the forearm, very intricate, very detailed. It comes with some jewelry, and we've seen this on the promotional material already, that Damane, when they're using the one power, the power seems to flow from the forearms, which is where this bracer is in the Sul'dam. And I think it's one of those things that it gives a slight clue as to the fact that the Sul'dam could possibly also channel. Either way, very neat, and I think this is going to pop a lot more than a simple silver bracelet would on the screen, and it's really very well done. I couldn't begin to think how many hours it took to design and build a number of these devices and props for all of the people that are going to be on screen at the same time in Season 2. Absolutely amazing. Now, let's take a look at it actually in practice here in a still. All right, so I had to move myself a bit here so you can see the bracer on the Sul'dam here. Absolutely gorgeous on screen, and the neck piece of the Adam on the Damani in the foreground. There is no mistaking who is what when they're wearing those things. So I think that the fact that not being able to hide the collar, it will impact some of the stories much later on in the series, I think. But it is a good way of showcasing who is who on the screen. Now, the Sul'dam's costume, again, absolutely gorgeous. There's a lot of intricacies put in here, the facial tattoos, the braids. Now, Seanchan was a bunch of isolated tribes that were kind of forced together in a nation by Hawkwing's son when he sailed across the Earth Ocean to conquer these new lands. So you see that show up in all of the differences in the Seanchan's costuming. So High Lord Turok, High Lady Suroth, the Sul'dam, the Seanchan soldiers, the Damane, they all look a little bit different. And I think that's a direct reference to the fact that they amalgamated a ton of different tribes under the Seanchan banner, and then came back across to basically take back the Westlands, who forgot their oaths. Either way, really very neat, and these pictures were absolutely amazing to see some of the hard work that went in behind the costumes, behind the scenes. All right, so let me know what you folks think of the Wheel of Time Wednesday reveal that Nerdist gave us. Do you like the costumes? Do you like the sketches? How do you feel about each individual one? And I want to know what you folks think about the Adam, the bracelet, or bracer rather, and the neck piece. Do you like the changes? Do you like the way it looks? And do you like the Seanchan aesthetic? I, for one, am absolutely thrilled, and I can't wait to see them on screen in action. But I want to hear what you folks think. Also, what are you expecting to see from Wheel of Time Wednesdays in the next 5 weeks or so prior to the release of Season 2? I would bet money we're getting at least one casting and likely an extended trailer, but other than that, there's still a few weeks in there. What would you folks like to see? Are we going to see more props, more behind-the-scenes stuff, maybe some of the musical score for the second season? There's a ton of other things they can release. I want to hear what you folks want to see, and thank you so much for sticking with us here to the very end. Here's to many more.